Hello, everybody. Good evening and good morning in the US. My name is Dirk Fubum. I'm product manager for SCR power control modules with advanced energy. And we would like to introduce to you our new upgraded Thyro-A and Thyro-S SCR power controller series. Okay, let's get started. Thanks to everybody for joining this webinar. First of all, some organizational things. So very welcome. During the webinar, we will ask you questions as well. So it's kind of a little bit interactive. Please, if you can, answer them. It would be really helpful for us. And we will, if you submit questions, we will answer as many questions as possible at the end of the webinar during the Q&A period. Okay. As well, we will do 2 polls during the presentation, and we would appreciate your participation. Okay. After the webinar, this presentation will be available on demand. We will email you a link to the recording, and we will also put it to the website. Okay. So let's get started. So our schedule is as follows. At first, I will give you a short introduction to the company, Advanced Energy Industries. Then I will give you an overview to our Thyro-A and Thyro-S SCR power controller series, the series that has recently been upgraded. And in the next section, we will focus on the new key features of the new series and the benefits. And at the end, we will have a question and answer section and a conclusion. Okay, so let's start with the company introduction. Advanced Energy Industries is an American company. It is based in Fort Collins, Colorado, USA. It was founded in 1981. It's a stock company, and the stocks are traded under AEIS at the Nasdaq. So we have a little bit less than 1,500 employees, and the last year's revenue was around $483 million US. So if you look at this revenue graph, you can see that most of Advanced Energy revenue is in the semi-industry. So Advanced Energy's products go mostly into things like making memory chips. It's all about power supplies for special equipment. 17% of the revenue is in industry and 15% is in services. So Advanced Energy has 2 major business sections. One is called process power, and the other one is called specialty power. And we have several business lines in these 2 sections. So first one is RF, radio frequency, AC, DC, that's process power. We have high voltage and thermal, both measurements and thermal control, which is specialty power. The SCR power controllers belong to the thermal business or thermal business unit. And the Advanced Energy power supplies, they are used in several applications. So first, as mentioned, in the semiconductor industry. Of course, this is also then for surface treatment like sputtering. It's, for example, for flat panel displays and touch panels, for medical instruments, aerospace and defense, mass spectrometry, X-ray, lasers and pulse light, and also glass web and other coatings. So let's look at the business unit where I'm from, or where we are talking about today. This is the thermal business unit. So we have 2 kinds of products in this thermal business units. First of all, the SCR power controllers. You can see them on the right-hand side on the top. So we have more than 50 years experience in SCR power controllers. Advanced Energy bought the SCR power controller product line from AEG. So AEG started more than 50 years ago producing these SCR power controllers. So that's why all the experience came into Advanced Energy. And we have another business line for thermal products. These are the parameters of the company Sekidenko in the US. So right now the power controllers and the parameters are combined under one business unit, which is the thermal business unit. The Advanced Energy is a global company, as you can see on this slide. The headquarters is in Fort Collins, Colorado, USA, but we also have at least sales and service offices in several other places in North America. We are present in Asia and Pacific. There's a big factory in Shenzhen in China, but also other offices like in India, in Singapore, in South Korea, in Japan, and also other cities in China and also in Taiwan. In Europe, the SCR Power Controller Group is located in Warstein-Belecke in Germany. So right now I'm here in Germany, and there's a factory also where the power controllers are being manufactured, which is in Littlehampton in the UK. Okay, so now is the first poll, and I think we give you about 45 seconds time to answer the question. The first question is, what's your primary application? So we would really like to know, what's your primary application? Please help us by answering this question. I think about 10 seconds left. So if you're still writing, please type fast. Okay, I think we can go to the next slide. So the next question is, what types of materials are you working with? So another 45 seconds. So about 10 seconds left. Okay, next question. What is your role? So are you a design engineer? Are you a purchasing guy? Or please tell us about the role. I think that's probably faster, so maybe 30 seconds left. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, thank you very much. So fourth and last question, it's a multiple choice. What are your top concerns or troubleshooting issues related to power controller modules and thermal processing? So we have a multiple choice from A to F. The first one is temperature stability, temperature accuracy, energy savings, advanced PCM features or system integration. And the last one is other, if nothing of these categories fits. Yeah, please make your choice and submit it. I think maybe 20 seconds left from now to do that. I think 5 seconds left. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, now we continue with the presentation. So first of all, let's start with the basics. What is an SCR power controller? So go to the next slide. On this slide, you can see a temperature control loop. On the left-hand side, on the top, there's an electrical furnace, and you can see the electrical heating elements. So these electrical heating elements need to be connected to a power circuit supplying the electrical power to the heating element. So these are the bold lines. And in the power circuit, you can see the power controller has this yellow area. And the power controller is like a valve in the electric circuit. So the power controller opens or closes the electric power flow to the electric furnace. Yeah? And it does it using thyristors. So this is a very robust technology. You can see the circuit symbols here. So this is the power control, the power line to supply the electric furnace. So how does the control loop work? So first of all, there needs to be a temperature measurement. So there needs to be some kind of temperature sensor. In this example, you can see one of our parameters here to measure the temperature. Of course, there can be other ways of temperature measurements as well, like thermocouples, for example. But parameters is a great way of measuring the temperature. You don't have to, they are wear-free, you don't have to change them after a period of time. So if you have not looked into using parameters yet, I think you should do, and we have some great experts on this in our company. So don't hesitate to call our sales or our support team and ask for them. So the temperature sensor, in this case the parameter, measures the temperature and creates a signal which is proportional to the temperature. So this signal goes to a temperature controller or to a PLC. The actual value is the input for this temperature controller or for the PLC, and the temperature controller calculates a set point signal. And the set point signal is then transferred to the power controller and controls whatever is configured there, controls the power, the voltage, or the current. And the power controller just keeps the power, the voltage, or the current constant according to the set point signal, which it receives from the power controller. So the way of transferring this set point from the PLC or temperature controller to the power controller is there are different ways of doing it. The most, the oldest way of doing it is using a 4 to 20 milliamp signal or some 0 to 10 volt signal, but of course also field bus signals. For example, Ethernet IP or DeviceNet or Profibus or Profinet and so on. It can be used to transfer the set point to the power controller. All the power controllers from Advanced Energy are fully digital power controllers. So they can be set also via laptop, and there's a PC software for configuration. Okay, next slide. So let's look at our Thyro-A power controller series. So you can see a Thyro-A power controller here, and you can see it's quite small, extremely small. And the Thyro-A It's available for 230 volts, for 400 volts, for 500 volts, and also for 600 volts options. 600 volts not for all currents, but more for the high currents. The most common voltages are 230, 400, and 500. And the Thyro-A power controller is available from 2 amps to 1,500 amps. And Thyro-A is available as single-phase units, as two-phase units, and as well as three-phase units. Two-phase units are three-phase units in economic circuit. So you just have two power sections controlling a three-phase system. Thyro-A power controllers allow a precise control of electrical power, current, or voltage according to a set point signal. So the power controller receives a set point signal between 0 to 100% and keeps the power, the current, or the voltage constant according to the set point signal. And it allows quite a range of several operating and control modes. Thyro-A power controller has load monitoring. By the way, also the old Thyro-A had that. But there are 3 new features in the upgrade series. The first one is the LED status and level indication, and we will talk about that in more detail later. The second new feature is the integrated protection against contact. And the third feature is the USB interface. So the old one didn't have a USB interface. It had via a kind of an interface adapter. It had to be connected to an RS-232. So the new one has USB interface. But we will look into that in more detail later. So the old and the new Thyro-A have equivalent dimensions. So an old Thyro-A can easily be replaced by a new Thyro-A. You can see the old one on the left-hand side and the new one on the right-hand side. And also the types are very similar. So the old Thyro-A H1 becomes a new Thyro-A H3. So just the number changes from 1 to 3. The old Thyro-A HRL1 becomes the new Thyro-A HRL3. The old Thyro-A HRLP1 becomes the new Thyro-A HRLP3. So replacement of an old Thyro-A by a new Thyro-A is not an issue. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the difference, because you might not be aware of H3, HRL3, and HRLP3. So HRLP3 has it all. It has current measurement, it has output relay, and it also has an analog output. This is the hardware, but it also has power control. So the HRL3 type is very similar to the HRLP3 type, but the power control is missing. So everything is the same except for the power control. And the H3 type is the economic type of Thyro-A. It does not have the current measurement, so therefore it doesn't have the load monitoring. It does not have an output relay, and it also does not have an analog output. Okay, so now let's look at Thyro-S. Thyro-S is very similar to Thyro-A, but it's a switch. Thyro-A is the power controller. It receives the set point between 0 and 100%. Thyro-S is a switch, so the set point is just on or off, 0 or 1. So let's have a look. It looks very, very similar. It's also available in 230 volts, in 400 volts, and 500 volts options. It is available from 8 to 350 amps, and it's available as a single-phase unit, and that is new because old Thyro-S did not have that. It's now also available as 2- and 3-phase units. Okay, we will talk about that in detail later. The operating mode is full base switch, so you just have the on and off set point. It just switches on and off. but it can also measure the electrical power, the current, and the voltage. And same as Thyro-A, it has this LED status indication. It has the integrated protection against contact, and it also has the USB interface. Okay. Comparison of the different types. Obviously, the dimensions between the old Thyro-S and the new Thyro-S are almost the same. Just it's a little bit higher because of this protection against contact, but it doesn't matter because there should be a clearance anyway on the bottom of the unit. So for the installations, it doesn't matter. And the old Thyro-S H1 becomes a new Thyro-S H3. The old Thyro-S HRL1 becomes a new Thyro-S HRLP3. So the P is new because the new Thyro-S HRLP3 can also measure the power. So Thyro-S now, the new Thyro-S is also available as two-phase and three-phase units. So this is, if you want to switch three-phase loads, you can do that easily. With the old one, you have to buy two single-phase units and kind of specially connect them to a two-phase economic circuit. Now you just buy the two-phase unit, or you can even buy the three-phase unit to switch three-phase loads. Okay. So let's look a little bit more in detail on these new features. So here's an overview, as I think we can go to the detail directly. So first of all, the integrated protection against contact. As you can see on the picture, there's a little cage at the bottom of the unit. So this cage protects you from touching any live part in the power controller. If you would look at the old power controller there, this cage is missing, so you could easily touch the live part of the power circuit. Now we have this cage integrated, so it's a lot safer. It's a protection against contact. And both Thyro-S and new Thyro-S and new Thyro-A units are now equipped with this protection. So there's a Thyro tool family PC software to configure Thyro-S and Thyro-A SCR power controllers. The connection is via the micro USB interface. So not too much has changed on the Thyro tool. I don't know if you have worked with it. If you have, not too much has changed. So you can still view the actual values. You can see the set points, also change set points and see line charts. And obviously also configure parameters in the Thyro-S and the Thyro-A. And there will be an upgrade to our new Thyro 2 Pro within the next month. So, yeah. Actually, the old Thyro tool will still work, even if the new Thyro tool, even if the power controllers are upgraded to work with the new Thyro tool as well. The bus connection of Thyro-S and Thyro-A works with our so-called bus modules. These bus modules are available for several field bus systems and can connect up to 8 units. If you have an installation with I don't know, 4, 5, 6 units, you just need one bus module to establish your field bus connection. So they are available for all common field bus systems: Ethernet IP, DeviceNet, Profinet, Profibus, Modbus TCP, Modbus RTU, and as well for CAN Open. So now every Thyro-A and Thyro-S is equipped with a micro USB interface. So you can use a normal cable, even your mobile phone cable works with that, to establish the connection to the PC via this USB cable. quite a nice improvement of the new Thyro-S and Thyro-A is the new LED signaling. So there are now 6 LEDs in 2 colors, in green and in red, on each unit, as you can see on the picture. And first of all, you can see there's a level indication. So every LED has a certain percentage, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100%. And the output of the power controller is indicated on these LEDs. So if you look at the picture, you can see an indication of 80% output. But it's not only indicated in these half steps of 20%. So for example, if the output goes down from 80% to 70%, you can see that the 80% LED will just be half on, so it will be darker than before. So it's like a smooth indication of the output, which can be really useful. And also the alarm or status indications are a lot improved from our point of view. So now there are signaling groups which are printed on the unit. You can see there's the group limit or the LED limit. It's pulse lock, false, load fault, and mains group. So if anything needs to be indicated within these alarm or within these status groups, the respective LED lights in red color. But it doesn't just light in red. It doesn't just light up in red color. It will also indicate a blink code. So for example, if one LED needs to indicate the blink code 2, it will kind of go off shortly for 2 times, like off, off, then have a break, then off, off. So there's the indication of 2, and our support will immediately know what exact message is behind that status or indication. And of course, you can also look it up in the manual. So from our point, a big improvement for the indication. Okay, of course, there are accessories. I think we can do this quite fast. There's the Thyro-2. There are the bus modules, the respective cable, and maybe you are not aware, there's also DIN rail adapters for the smaller units up to 60 amps. Okay, now we come to the Q&A part. So we are ready for your questions. Okay. So we have a couple of questions here. So one question, we are displaying the question on the slide. So the question is, does the protection cage add a dimensional issue for retrofit in the same area of the old Thyro? So the answer is no, it does not. Because the protection cage is only to the bottom of the unit. So normally you are supposed to have a clearance of about 15 centimeters. I'm not sure how much is that in inches. I suppose about 6 or something. Anyway, for the thermal protection of the unit, so the protection cage will just be in the area which should be clear anyway and be occupied with your cables. So there's no issue for dimensions. So any more questions? We have one more question here. It's a question for the old dip switches. You know, the old Thyro-A and S was configured either by dip switches and was configured by Thyro-2. So the question is it the same for the new one? And the answer is yes, it is. It is the same. The dip switches are still available in the new units because many of our customers like them. Okay, one more question. From when on are the new units available? So the answer is new units are available now, and they have been since April approximately. And for the old units, we discontinued them. So a discontinuation letter was sent to our customers, and the old units will be available for last orders until the end of the year. But we recommend to change to the new units as soon as possible. Okay. One more question: are the fuses integrated into the power controller? And the answer is yes. The semiconductor fuses are integrated. Okay, here's one more question. It is one of our customers is asking why micro USB. Yeah, he's suggesting micro USB is so sensitive interface for industrial apps. Actually, we think micro USB or USB is such a common interface, and every computer has USB. So we think it's the right interface to communicate with the Thyro-A. We used to use the RS-232, but the RS-232 is such an old-fashioned interface. We had to get away from that and go to a more nowadays more common interface. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I think then we close the Q&A session here. So, well, just a short conclusion before we come to the next poll and then close the webinar. So, Thyro-S and Thyro-A SCR power controllers from Advanced Energy have been upgraded. So they are newly engineered. They have a very good control accuracy, especially if you consider the price of the units. They have a wide performance range. They have very, very similar dimensions to the old units, so that you can easily retrofit them. You can easily integrate them into existing processes and automation systems. So we have three main new features for the new units. So these are these LED status indications, which I talked about. It's the integrated protection against contact, and it's the USB, micro USB communication interface. Okay, so there's one more slide. For additional resources, we will send you this presentation, and you can use links in the presentation. You can also go to our website and download information, product information, and as well as the operating manuals from the website. Okay, same for Thyro-A. So thank you very much for attending and staying for the whole time. And we'd love to read your feedback. So please, if you can, answer the poll questions. So first of all, on the relevance, how relevant is this information to your process and application? So 1 means not relevant at all, and 5 means very relevant. So please answer that. I think 20 seconds should be enough. Okay, 5 seconds left. Next question. Which Thyro-S and Thyro-A features are most relevant to your process? So I think you have to write something, so maybe 30 seconds from now. So 5 seconds left. Okay, next question. What topics, it's on future webinars, what topics would you like to learn about more in future webinars? And please, if you have ideas how to, what kind of maybe more interesting webinars we should make than today, then please write it to us. We will consider your proposal. Okay, I think 30 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, thank you very much to everybody for your feedback. So we are glad you joined. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a nice day or a nice evening if you're in Europe. Thank you. Bye.